Labor is never 50-50. Women still do most of the emotional labor.
These broads will get on here and say all the things that they're doing. They'll even make up things like emotional labor, emotional labor. They'll just make things up.
So I'm single, and recently I was talking to this guy and getting to know him a little. He proceeds to ask me the question, "What's your favorite color?" I paused, looked at him, and I said, "Are you being serious right now?" He, in fact, was being serious. He wanted to know my favorite color. I literally was like, I didn't think people actually asked that question. I thought it was like a hypothetical. And honestly, I was offended. Like, this is really what dating is? Can ask me a more meaningful question?
We all can kind of see why you're single. The way you're responding in this video lets us know exactly why you're probably gonna die alone with a dog. Now, which type of dog you die alone with, that's up for question. But based on how you responded to this or how you're treating this, we can tell why you're single. Meeting people is very awkward, okay? Not everybody is a super social butterfly. Some people need to warm up. That is called a warm-up question. It's supposed to lead to more meaningful questions. So if you think right out the gate, he's just gonna ask you some thought-provoking, deep into your soul question when he doesn't even know who the hell you are, girl, you're delusional. I think the women, they're taking simple things and then just having the weirdest reactions to it. Can you imagine being mad just because somebody asked you your favorite color? Girl, are you so for real? These are warm-up questions. If this is the first date that you're on and they're asking you simple things like, where'd you grow up? What's your favorite color? Things like that. I mean, that's pretty typical. That's pretty normal because you don't have a baseline to even go in and ask those more meaningful questions. You got to kind of warm up to it. Get a feel for the vibe. Get a feel for how you respond to questions. So even with you responding that way, you gave him a lot of information. He knows that if he asks you a question, you're going to have this weird vitriol, this weird abrasive response to it. Are you serious? If anything, men, start asking those questions more, because if they respond like this, you know good and well that is a huge red flag. Okay, just answer the damn question. And if you want to progress the conversation to something more meaningful, then do that. Okay, then do that through conversation. And hell, you don't even know. Maybe if he was planning on taking you on another date, what if he wanted to wear your favorite color to the date? Maybe he wanted to buy you some flowers that were in that particular color. I don't understand it. Men, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You ask a super deep question, then they're like, why are you asking me that? If you ask a superficial question, why are you asking me that? It doesn't matter what a man does. They can go to the date and ask you, what do you bring to the table? Y'all get mad. What's your favorite color? Y'all get mad. What's your body count? Now, I don't agree with asking that on a date. I think that's a little weird. That's something you ask either on the phone or I don't know. Asking that on a date is a little awkward, but I digress. You know, it's broads like that really mess up the game. They make it so that, a man going into that situation, they're not going to know what to say or what to ask because your judgmental ass is sitting there judging every last little thing that they do. And judging in such a, because we all judge. I'm not saying we don't judge, but doing it in a way where you're judging the dumbest thing. He asked me what my favorite color is. Like, ew, why would he do that? Like, girl, be so for real. It's a normal question for somebody to ask. It's nothing outlandish. It is a warm up question. And as you are going through the warm up questions, you start to sense the vibe, right? This is social skills 101. You start to suss out the vibe, see how the other person responds, and then you can see, okay, now we can move towards more meaningful questions. But I bet you a broad like this would get mad if he asked her, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why would you ask me that? I bet she would ask. Someone like this is just gonna take problem with anything you say. Let's be so for real. Unless you say the exact thing that she wants you to say in that exact moment, she's gonna be pissed. I'm sorry. This is the vibe that you're putting out there. And there's no wonder you're single. Okay, I'm not questioning why you're single. You know, you're a pretty girl, but your attitude is stank. Okay, this is a straight up stank attitude. And whoever went on that date, they dodged a bullet. Okay, they dodged a bullet. Men, I'm gonna need y'all to start to asking these broads out to coffee dates. If they say no, you dodged a bullet. I'm gonna need y'all to start asking them what their favorite color is. If they they have a stank attitude about that. You dodged a bullet. Let's find these little markers and tests that we can use so that these men can avoid you broads at all costs, and hopefully get to the women that are actually worth a damn, the women that they can have a good conversation with and that are going to be pleasant. I think women, we just forgot how powerful it is just to be pleasant. I've had men just in my regular day-to-day, if I'm out and about, I'm shopping at the store or whatever it is, just because I'm pleasant, they want to do things for me, whether it's helping me get things off of the shelf or moving things out of my way. I've had that happen just because I have a pleasant demeanor, a pleasant personality, and I'm kind. Y'all be missing the plot, being so abrasive, and honestly, this is very masculine to me. I wish y'all would just put as much thought as you do into, disqualifying people off of asking you what a favorite color is. I wish I would put more thought into trying to understand other people, get outside of your one perspective to see how other people see things. I feel like your lives would be a lot better, and you might not be so chronically single if you did so.
50-50 is against feminism. Him paying is not a luxury, it's just balancing the scale. If we still live in patriarchy, which we still do, then 50-50 isn't feminist. Because labor is never 50-50. Women still do most of the emotional labor. Women still take all the risks. Dating, pregnancy, reputation. Women are still expected to look good, act right, and care for others unpaid. So no, you're not splitting the bill. You're already paying, just not in cash. Keeping your money while he's paying is not gold digger. It's compensation. It's redistribution. It's feminist. True feminism liberates. It doesn't ask women to carry the burden just to appear equal.
This just keeps highlighting the same things I've been saying over and over and over again. A lot of these broads are delusional. They only see one side. They're completely one-sided in their frame of thinking. And not only that, a lot of this just sounds like prostitution to me. I'm sorry, but it sounds like streetwalker mentality. Well, I did this, so now you owe me this. It's very transactional rather than a relationship where it's just fluid give and take. We're not sitting over here tallying up how much you gave and how much I took. We are just going through life, giving and taking on both ends. These broads will get on here and say all the things that they're doing. They'll even make up things like emotional labor. They'll just make things up to try to inflate their value in the relationship. And it's just like, at any point in time, have you acknowledged what a man puts into that relationship? A man is giving you that protection. If he is paying for things, he is going to be a provider, and it's just like this economy is not built for men to be just paying for everything. You have to understand the time frame that you're in. We are not in the 80s. We are not in the 90s. Hell, we're not in the early 2000s. We are in 2025, honey. Prices are expensive and the job market is not matching the increase in price. All of this, pay, like, people are not making enough money to support all of this nonsense, especially the nonsense that you guys keep putting on these Instagrams and social media platforms, and then everyone's aspiring to these unrealistic standards. People do not, in a general sense, the masses do not have money for this type of lifestyle. So you're selling a pipe dream to everybody. We have to recognize where we're at in society. And society right now is a 50-50 society. It's a society where mofos gotta work multiple jobs in order to make ends meet. It is what it is. Get with the times. Now, if you are able to find somebody and they have it like that, by all means, good for you. I'm happy for you. I love that for you. But for us regular common folk, most of the time when you're in a relationship, you're both gonna have to be hustling. You're both gonna have to put in that work because the economy is not built for that anymore. They understand that now that households have multiple incomes, they can charge us more. And then the inflation just got completely out of hand since then. So we can't desire the ways of old when we live in a whole new world, okay? On some Aladdin shit. It's a whole new world where we have to pay extra for very little. Let's keep it a buck. And honestly, I could find this same level of delusion if I go to the red pill spaces. For all those people like, you're just a pick me mammy. I have issues with the red pillars too. They say a lot of delusional stuff there as well. Just like, it's better to live with your homeboys than to live with a woman, which sounds a little sus. This level of delusion, it's gonna be the downfall of society. I don't know what the world's gonna look like in the upcoming years, because nobody's getting together, nobody's having babies. You know, the elderly, once they start to die off, the population is gonna be real skimpy. Bill Gates, he won. Bill Gates and all these other depopulation people, they won. Not only did they kill us off during COVID, but they've also convinced a lot of us to just stop procreating through all sorts of propaganda. All of this is a psyop. All of this is propaganda. These people have been propagandized, and that's the reason why they don't even want to have families anymore. All of this was for the goal of depopulation. You fell for the baits. A lot of you are going to die very miserable and alone because you didn't have meaningful relationships, even though that could have been the man for you. The man who was going to be there for you emotionally, that was going to be there for you, take care of you, build something with you, maybe even get to the point where you don't have to work and you can stay at home with your children. These broads, they want their cake and eat it too. Feminist movement, their main push was to get women in the workforce, get us the right to vote, get us on a level playing field with the man, but then we don't actually want to play on a level playing field. It's all about having privileges, and that's what you find with most of these groups that claim to be victims. They don't actually want equality, and they'll use words, well, we want equity, and then they'll bastardize what these terms mean in order to just say they want privileges. It's what it is. They want men to behave like they're traditional, pay for everything, but then they also want the ways of today, okay? The modern ways where women can go out and get their own money and this, that, and the third. Once you change the game, gameplay changes. I'm not gonna play Fortnite the same way that I play Monopoly, okay? It's a completely different game, but no one wants to acknowledge that. We are not playing the same game that our ancestors played back in the 60s, back in the 50s, back in the 20s, back in the 1800s. It's a completely new ball game. So we have to play by new rules. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. You want to have your cake and you want to eat it too. It's not realistic. Like I said, because of the economy. But y'all, I am curious to know what you guys think. Do you agree with me that all of these broads are delusional? Or do you agree with some of the feminist ideology that we've heard today? I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are. If you like the video, like the video, share the video. And also, I have the hype button, so go ahead and hype up the video as well. And if you feeling a little generous, go ahead and buy your girl a coffee. The link will be in the description down below. And I will see you guys with the next one. Deuces.
What?